Hi everyone, this is Krishna Mulkapati, working as Assistant Professor in EEE Department, St. Peter's Engineering College. In this video, we are going to see one of the switching devices that we are using in our power electronics. Okay, that is power IGBT. Power IGBT. This is power IGBT. So one of the important switching device which we are using in different configurations of power electronics. Okay, so we'll see the contents of power IGBT. First one is basics of power IGBT. Second one, its a symbol, how to represent power IGBT. And third one is equivalent circuit. So this is having some equivalent circuit. I tell you why we are taking that equivalent circuit for only power IGBT. Then fourth one is fourth one we have to discuss about the its structure. Then fifth we'll see characteristics of power IGBT characteristics. So there are two types of characteristics for power IGBT. Lastly, we'll see few applications of power IGBT. Right? We'll see one by one. The first one is when you see the basics, it is the combination of both BJT and MOSFET. It is the combination of both BJT and MOSFET, right? So we designed, the people are designed the power MOSFET with the combination of BJT and MOSFET, right? Then as we know that the combination is in terms of BJT and MOSFET, we are taking the advantages of both the devices and design this IGBT for a particular applications, right? The first one in that case, second point is okay. So we are using the power MOSFET at the input side of the IGBT. So it has one advantage, that is high input impedance. High input impedance. This is the advantage of power MOSFET. So the same advantage is there for power IGBT also, as like as MOSFET. What is the abbreviation of IGBT? What is the abbreviation of IGBT? IGBT abbreviation is insulated gate bipolar transistor. Insulated gate bipolar transistor. So please mind this one. And the third point that we have to remember is, so it has low on state power loss, low on state power loss, as same as BJT, as as BJT. Means I am taking one advantage of MOSFET, one advantage of BJT. With that, I'll design on device called power IGBT. With that, we can go for the different applications where we couldn't use MOSFET alone or BJT alone. In that particular applications, we can use our IGBT. The fourth point is, it is a voltage control device. It is a voltage control device. It is a voltage control device because the output collector current is purely depends on the variation of input voltage. That's why We are calling this device as voltage control device. And one more point that we have to remember is it has large metallic body. It has large metallic body, metallic body, which helps to bring out the heat generated inside the switching device. So that what happens, we can able to protect the device from the higher temperature values when we use the high larger material, high larger metallic for this device as body. One more point is, so one more advantage, it requires gate driving system. It requires low gate driver system. Means to give the signal to the gate terminal. To give the signal to the gate terminal, we need just low cost or lower circuit, lower controlling circuit to give the signal to the gate terminal of the IGBT. The next point is, so for the protection purpose, it requires it requires less less production circuit in the sense lower values of lower values of snuffer circuit, lower values of snuffer circuit. So what do you mean by snuffer circuit? Snuffer circuit is formed with the help of two components. There are resistance and capacitance, which are connected in series manner, and the series combination is connected across the switching device like our power IGBT. With that, what happens is, if reversal current takes place, if the means what opposite current strike the device, automatically what happens, whatever the excess amount of current is trying to bypass through RC circuit when you connect that RC in parallel to the device. So further, it requires lower values of snuffer circuit. So these are the few points to remember. So IGBT means insulated gate. Gate is insulated from the body of IGBT, body of the device. That's why this is called insulated gate bipolar transistor. Okay, and this type of device is belong to transistors family. There are two types of families are there in semiconductors. One is thyristors family, other one is transistors family. Whereas thyristors family using for power modifications, whereas that transistor family is using for frequency modulation. One is for power modulation, other one is for frequency modulation. This type of insulating gate bipolar transistor belongs to transistor family. Okay, and one more thing is the terminals. What are the terminals that the IGBT is having? So terminals are emitter, terminal, collector, emitter terminal, collector terminal, and gate. Unlike our MOSFET, the combination of BJT MOSFET, we are getting some, based on its equivalent circuit, we are getting the different terminals as emitter, collector, and gate. So these are the few points that we have to remember regarding this power IGBT. Next, we will see the symbol. We will see the symbol. Next, we will see the symbol. Right. Look at this. This is one. So as I said, it is a combination of BJT and MOSFET, and it is having the symbol like this. So gate is insulated, right? This is my gate terminal. Okay, and this is my transistor. Very simple. This is my transistor. This is emitter terminal. and this is collector. As I said, what are the terminals of IGBT? IGBT terminals are emitter, collector, gate. This is the one of the gate, one of the competitive exams question that we are nowadays see in many exams. That what are the terminals of power IGBT? So there exist four options. In the four options, this type of answers were there. So we have to pick up right answer to get the mark for this power IGBT, right? So this is a symbol of power IGBT, right? Actually, there are power IGBTs are two types. N channel IGBT, P channel IGBT. See this, when you see the structure, it is like a BJT. Means what happened? PNP, three layers, two junctions, three terminal device. Like that, this is also having the three layers, two junctions, three terminals. Okay, so PNP like this. What is this arrow mark indicating? Arrow mark indicating what? Direction of current towards the emitter. If the direction of arrow mark towards outwards, what does it mean? What is the type? What is the type? What we call NPN. It is NPN. If the arrow mark indicates the towards the device, what does it mean? PNP. If arrow mark indicates inwards, it is PNP. If arrow mark indicates outwards, so that we can call NPN. Right? So next we'll see. So let it be, we'll see the next one. So it's equivalent circuit. So we'll see the equivalent circuit. So as I said, input side we are using MOSFET, output side we are using so BJT. That's why output terminals are collector and emitter, input terminal is gate. Right? So we'll see that one. So equivalent circuit, let us see that. So this is my MOSFET. This is my MOSFET, right? This is my source terminal of the MOSFET. Source terminal. This is drain terminal, right? Here the gate. This is gate terminal. So this is my MOSFET. Okay. Then this I am connecting to. This I am connecting to trans BJT. This I am connecting to BJT. So this is my BJT, right? This is my BJT. So this is my emitter terminal. Emitter. This is my collector terminal. Collector terminal. Emitter terminal, collector terminal. This is base. Base for BJT. Base for BJT, right? So these two are connected together. So this is what we call equivalent circuit of power IGBT. So see this, these two are the internal terminals. This is also internal terminals. What are the outermost terminals that we can see in the equivalent circuit? Look at this. This is my input terminal. Look at this. Gate is my input terminal. And when you see output side, you can able to see collector terminal and emitter terminal. With that, what happen? We'll get power IGBT. Like this, you should remember. This is power IGBT. In that way, the power IGBT is formed with the help of two different types of devices. One is MOSFET, other one is BJT. Right? This is the equivalent circuit of power IGBT. Next, we will see the structure. What is this? This is the protecting resistance called drain resistance connected between the drain of the MOSFET and base of the BJT. Right. Next, we will see structure of power IGBT. Structure of power IGBT. So this is very important one. Structure of power IGBT. Okay. Next, we'll look at this. Look at and see the structure very carefully and draw very neatly. Right. So this is the structure of power IGBT. I am drawing like this. Right. So this is P-type material. This is P-type material. This side also I am having P-type material, right? So P-type material. Here I am using N plus. Look at this. So this is N plus, right? This is N plus. This is N plus. With this we are getting emitter terminal. This is my emitter terminal. Okay, other side also having the same way, right? So this is N plus. This is N plus. Here also I am having the emitter terminal, right? So there we are using one silicon dioxide layer. This is totally silicon dioxide layer. Look at this. So this is emitter terminal. So totally this is emitter terminal. This is silicon dioxide material, and the size of the width of the silicon dioxide is around 1000 angstroms. Width of the silicon dioxide is 1000 angstroms. And here is a gate is insulated. Here my gate terminal is insulated from the body of the IGBT. And this is my gate terminal. This is my gate, and this is a splitted value of emitter, splitted connection of emitter. This is my emitter terminal, right? Then this is my N minus region. I tell you why it is N minus, and here I am the P. So this is the structure of, I can call this is a P plus because it is the outermost layer of the device. Okay, as I said in previous classes, outermost layers must be highly doped one to withstand the high power and high currents, higher voltages. Right? As we know, some basic things in this the diagram. Look at this. This N plus region, N plus region, N plus region, N plus region. All these regions are highly doped ones. Highly doped means what? What is the size? The size is 10 power 19 centimeter cube. 10 power 19 centimeter cube. And this is 10 power 14 centimeter cube. 10 power 16, sorry, 10 power 16 centimeter cube. It is normally doped area in the device. This P is normally doped area in the device. This side also normally doped. Okay, this is one junction we can call junction J2 that I am calling. After this is 10 power 14 centimeter cube, lightly doped area. N minus 1 means N minus indicating what? Lightly doped area, and other name for this one is drift layer. Drift layer. So as we know, what do you mean by drift layer? If it is lightly doped there, then automatically it allows the current to flow very easily in that area. So I can say this is J1 junction, this is injection layer. This is injection layer. Why? Because injection layer means the current is entering into this layer, into the device through this layer. And we can say this is 10 power 19 centimeter cube. So these are the fixed values that you have to remember, right? So this terminal is, here is what happened. There is a metallic body. This is the metallic body of the device. So it has a large metallic body. To keep the large metallic body for the device, what happened? What is the advantage? It will bring out the heat generated inside the device while we are using the device. And here is my terminal. Here is the collector terminal. This is collector, right? So you draw the same thing. So you have to remember a few things. These values and what are the junctions J1 and J2. This is the drift layer and this is injection layer, right? So, what is the type of IGBT that we have drawn on the board? Is it N channel IGBT or P channel IGBT? The question here is, what is the type of channel that is formed to flow the current from collector terminal to the emitter terminal? Is the main output current. So that what is the path created or the channel created? Channel created by the N a negative charge or a positive charge? That's the question. Okay. So the answer for that question is, it is a N channel IGBT. It is N channel IGBT. See this? Look at the connections of battery. So now we are going to see the connections of battery. So as we know, so what is the function of this silicon dioxide material over there? What does that silicon dioxide do? So very simple, silicon dioxide possesses capacitance property. Capacitance. Capacitance property. What is the capacitance property? See, upper plate, lower plate, there is a one dielectric medium. It's going to be conducting. Okay, there is a one charge. Thereby, some voltage induced. Some few things are there. Like that, what happens? Silicon dioxide acting as a capacitor here, so that whenever this gate is connected to positive of the battery, like this is plus, this is minus, right? I am calling this as VG voltage, right? Then this is connected to the anode. Means what? Anode is connected to the negative terminal of the battery, but what happened? Gate is connected to the positive terminal of the battery, and I am calling that voltage is VG, VSFG. And thereafter, I am connecting emitter terminal and collector terminal, and I am using connections like this. Okay. So positive of the battery is connected to the collector, negative of the battery, negative terminal of the battery is connected to the emitter. Okay. Then I am calling this voltage is VCE. I am calling this voltage is VCE. Sometimes that we are calling it, this is VCC. VCC. Okay. Then what happened is, if the connections are like this, what happened? Positive terminal of the battery is connected to the positive layer, means P layer. The majority carriers in P layers are holes. Okay. Then these are also holes. This is also plus. This is also plus. What is the charge over there? Positive charge over there inside the P material, P layer, and outside battery also producing the holes only. Thereby what happened? There is this repulsion between this. Right? What happened? Then current, and we can say this junction is forward bias. This junction is forward bias. Positive is P layer is connected to positive of the battery, then this junction will become forward bias. But this negative is connected to, this is the negative portion, so connected to, thereby reverse bias. J junction is in reverse bias. So these two are very important, right? So Z junction is in reverse bias and J1 junction is in forward bias. Next we will see the working, how that channel is created inside the device to flow the current from collector to emitter. Look at this. As I said, it is a voltage control device, right? That's why what happened? It's the collector current flowing, the collector current which is flowing to the device is depends on the gate values, gate voltage values. That's why it is called voltage control device. Then what happened here? If it is a forward bias, this junction is forward bias, the current will coming like this. Not an issue because it is forward bias. It will break down very easily. No issue. Okay. Then there is a problem over there. This is the J2 junction. This totally is a J2 junction. This totally is a J2 junction. Right? You should remember these things. When I show the J2 junction here itself means the junction is like this. This is the total junction, right? This is the total junction. So due to that, what happened? Our current won't flow through emitter. There is a barrier. So we have to break the barrier. Otherwise, create one channel to flow the current. What are the Magenta carriers over there. So electrons are magenta carriers here. There are electrons are magenta carriers. Right? What do you mean by current? Current is the flow of free electrons, right? So once this is entering into this, it is able to flow like this. But what happened here? There is a barrier. There is a barrier. That's why the current will stop over there. Then we have to break down this layer. Otherwise, create one more channel. One channel to flow the current inside the device. Further, what happened when I increase this voltage to gate, automatically, as I said, silicon dioxide acts as a capacitance. Therefore, what happened? So, outer this upper portion of the silicon dioxide acting as a upper plate of the capacitor. So, lower one is acting as a lower plate of the capacitor. As we know, the charge created upon the two plates. So, outside of the upper plate is a plus because it is connected to positive terminal of the battery. So, inside it will become minus value, so negatively charged one. The inside of the lower plate having the positive charge like this. The outside of the lower plate is having the negative charge. Like that, what happened? So there already negative charge values are there because it is totally N-type material. So there is no issue for this. So the material itself having the negatively charged. Then automatically what happened? This portion, this is totally P portion. Please remember this. This is the total P portion. Here is what happened. There is a negative charge takes place. Once you increase the gate voltage, based on the gate voltage values, the formation of N channel, because of electrons, there is a channel created. Here also this side, either side the sides of this portion, there is a creation of channel like this. So that what happened? So our aim is to break down the junction or to create one channel to flow the collector current. Afterwards, what happened? The current will easily flow like this because channel is created like this. Current is coming out. That is one part. You can see another side also. You can see another side also. This is the way the current is coming out. There are the two parts because the emitter is already separated into two areas. So there is a chance to flow the collector current in two ways and join somewhere and coming back to source. Like this, when you see the working of power IGBT, there is a creation of N channel. Okay, after creating the N channel, we can able to we can able to easily make the current to flow inside the device, right? So then we will see characteristics. So with the help of equivalent circuit, we will see the characteristics, right? Then in the characteristics, there are two types of characteristics existed for power IGBT. So we'll see them one by one. First we'll see transfer characteristics and later on output characteristics. So what do you mean by transfer characteristics? Transfer characteristics means the characteristic which we are drawing for. So input parameter and output parameter, right? So transfer characteristics. We are taking this one, fifth part. So transfer characteristics. So transfer characteristics are drawn between input parameter and output parameter. Right? So input what I am taking? Input what I am taking? Gate voltage, because gate and emitter, you can say input terminals, emitter and collector are output terminals. So input gate voltage versus output current. Input gate voltage versus output current. Then when you draw this, we are having like this. So on x-axis I am taking Vg, on y-axis I am taking IC, right? Collector current. After applying the gate signal, then only the silicon dioxide acting as a capacitor and allows the charge, negative charge, and thereafter N channel created. So after applying the some amount of gate voltage only, some energy is going to be dropped to create N channel inside the device. Thereby what happened? Even though you are applying small values of gate voltage, so device won't comes to conduction because of N channel is not created in the, up to the time. After that, it allows the current to flow. So this value is called VGEO. VGEO. Breakover voltage point, knee point. That what we call in case of diode. Same as in case of transistor, we can call this as a knee point where the conduction takes place from its forward blocking value. Right? So these are the transfer characteristics. Next we'll see output characteristics or performance characteristics. Output. So output characteristics are done between output parameters. What are the output parameters? Very simple. What are the output parameters? VCE, VCE versus IC. VCE versus IC are called output characteristics because this is the output voltage, this is the output current, right? We take the values here. At a constant gate voltages, we are going to draw the output characteristics. Here it is VCE. This is VCE, right? Then we'll see characteristics for 0 VG. This is a VG0. VG0 means there is no voltage applied through gate terminal. Therefore, what happened? There is no conduction takes place. This is what I call leakage current. This I am calling leakage current. It's not an actual current. Therefore, this region this is having some other region. We are calling this region as cutoff region. This region I am calling cutoff region where the device is not connecting and does not allow the current from collector to emitter for 0 values of gate voltage. Thereafter, I am applying some gate voltage. Due to that, what happened? There is some amount of current flowing through the device till some voltage applied through collector to emitter also. Thereafter, maintaining constant value and coming into saturation region. And this is for I am saying this is IG VG1, and then further I am increasing VG values, VG2, then VG3 like this. I can call this one is here it is VG3 is greater than VG2 is greater than VG1 is also greater than VG0 like that. Whenever you are trying to increase the voltage across gate emitter terminals, there is chance to produce more. There is chance to produce more current. There is chance to try to make the junction, make the channel as fast as early and allow the current to flow. And you can see this characteristics. So this portion is called saturation region. Saturation region, right? There are 4 regions of that, and this portion of the characteristics are called ohmic region. Why we are calling this ohmic region? See, when you apply the Ohm's law here, what happened? This is R equal to V by, there is a linear variation by applying the input voltage in the current value. That's why that property is there for the resistance. That's why this region is called ohmic region. And the constant value, even though you are applying the more amount of voltage across the cathode emitter, there is no change. There is a constant value that we are getting. That region is called, this entire region is called active region. Active region. So there are 4 regions that we can see output characteristics of power IGBT as same as the MOSFET. But the advantage of both BJT MOSFET we are taking into consideration to design the power IGBT. Lastly we'll see we are using this type of device in AC and DC drives. Okay, just take down the applications. Final one is applications. Applications of power IGBT. First, AC and DC drives. AC and DC drives. So we are using more and more in case of AC and DC drives. Then UPS, uninterrupted power supplies. Then SMPS, which we are seeing in case of in in our PCs, personal computers. So there SMPS, we are using SMPS means the switch mode power supplies. Then you can use this type of power IGBTs in traction motors. Traction motors, you can able to see this traction motor in railways. So when you go for electric locomotives, in that there is one traction system. In the traction system, we are using motors to control the motor speed. Automatically, we need some power adapter configuration. In that power adapter configuration, we are using this power IGBT as a switch, so that this motor speed will be controlled very easily. Then we can use this one for induction heating. This induction heating, in the induction heating system also, so we are using IGBT, RIGBT as a switch, okay, and in that we are using some induction motors, induction loads, and some inverting circuits means inverters. In the inverters also we are using power IGBTs, means we can use power MOSFETs or IGBTs in inverters, but there are more advantages when you use the power IGBTs in that particular application. These are the few applications. Okay, so with this power IGBT is completed. So we'll see one more switching device in the next video. Thank you.